All right, let's dive into one of Shakespeare's wildest, most fun plays, The Comedy of Errors. Seriously, it's a story of mistaken identity cranked up to an absolutely insane level, and we're gonna untangle it all.
I mean, just think about that for a second. That's the brilliant, chaotic premise that Shakespeare gives us. It's such a simple question, right? But it spirals into one of the craziest comedies you will ever come across. But, before we get to all the funny stuff, the story actually kicks off with a real tragedy. Shakespeare doesn't start with a joke here. He starts with a man who is literally about to be executed. So we meet this poor guy, Aegeon, and he's pleading for his life. See, there's this bitter rivalry going on, and the law is just brutal. Any person from his hometown, Syracuse, who is found in Ephesus has to pay a massive fine or die by sunset. And, well, Aegeon is totally broke. You can just feel the weight of his soddenness, right? The Duke is actually moved by it and asks Aegeon, hey, how on earth did you end up here? And the story he tells, wow, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and it sets the stage for everything that's about to go down. So get this. Years ago, Aegeon's whole family, and we're talking twin sons and their identical twin servants, got split up in a shipwreck. He was saved with one son and one servant, and his wife, Amelia, was saved with the other two. They completely lost track of each other. The only reason he's even in Ephesus is because he's been searching for his lost son for years. It's just an incredible story. So the Duke, he's not a total monster. He hears the story and takes some pity on him, bending the rules just a little. He gives Aegeon until sunset to somehow find the money. But of course, Aegeon thinks it's completely hopeless. I mean, who would he know in a rival city? Okay, and this is where the snowball of chaos really starts to roll downhill. Because unbelievably, the son that Aegeon raised has also just arrived in Ephesus. And guess what? He's looking for his long-lost brother. All right, this right here is basically your cheat sheet for the whole play. You've got Team Syracuse, the visitors, who are on a quest to find their family. And then you've got Team Ephesus, the locals, who have no idea their identical twins even exist. Two identical masters, two identical servants, all in the same town at the same time. You can already see where this is headed, can't you? So let's get into the first few mix-ups that just kick this whole thing into high gear. The second Antipholus of Syracuse steps into town, it's like the universe decides to have a little fun with him. Okay, so the very first encounter goes completely off the rails. The visiting Antipholus is thinking, what is my servant talking about? A wife? Dinner? Meanwhile, the local Dromio is thinking, my master has lost his mind. He's denying his own house and beating me for no reason. This one mistake is the blueprint for all the insanity to come. And just when he thinks things can't get any weirder, this woman, Adriana, comes up to him on the street and starts yelling at him for being a terrible husband. She will not take no for an answer, and she literally drags this poor, confused guy home for dinner. You can just imagine his entire reality is starting to crumble. So now we have one twin locked inside the wrong house being mistaken for his brother. The situation is about to escalate from just plain confusing to a full-blown 5-alarm fire of chaos. Imagine this. The real husband, Antipholus of Ephesus, gets home from work, and he's locked out of his own house. Inside, the visiting Dromio is just following orders from his new mistress, Adriana, to not let anyone in. He has no idea the guy yelling on the street is his master's twin brother. Oh, and because things weren't complicated enough, let's throw some expensive jewelry into the mix. A goldsmith shows up and gives the visiting Antipholus a gold chain that the local one had ordered. The visitor is completely baffled, but hey, a free gold chain? He's not going to say no. So, what happens next? Well, you can probably guess. The goldsmith finds the real Antipholus of Ephesus, the one who ordered the chain but never got it, and demands his money. When our local guy refuses to pay for something he never received, the goldsmith has him arrested for the debt. And now it is just a complete avalanche of insanity. Every single attempt to fix things just makes it 10 times worse. The bail money goes to the wrong person. A rope gets delivered instead of cash. People start throwing around accusations of theft, cheating, even demonic possession. It all ends with a local Antipholus and his Dromio being declared totally insane, tied up, and thrown in a dark cellar. Okay, so just when it feels like this situation cannot possibly get any more tangled, every single character ends up in the same place at the same time for the big, stunning reveal. So try to picture this scene. Everyone is in the town square. You've got the Duke about to execute poor old Aegeon. You have Adriana demanding justice against her crazy husband. Then, the escaped Antipholus and Dromio of Ephesus show up, absolutely furious. And all the while, the Syracuse twins are hiding in a nearby priory, convinced the entire town is cursed. And then, the priory doors open, the abbess, the woman in charge, comes out to see what all the yelling is about, and she brings the Syracuse twins with her. For the first time all day, both sets of twins are standing there, and everyone just sees double. People's minds are absolutely blown.
And just when you think there can't possibly be another twist, bam, the abbess drops the biggest bombshell of all. She reveals that she is actually Amelia, Aegon's long-lost wife and the mother of the two Antipholus twins. The family that was torn apart by that shipwreck all those years ago has, by complete accident, found each other. And just like that, in an instant, the entire day's chaos is untangled. The Duke pardons Aegon. The parents are back together. The brothers finally meet. The servants meet their twins. And everything, the dinner, the money, the gold chain, it all suddenly makes perfect sense. It is one of the most satisfying endings in all of literature.
And it's the two Dromios, the guys who have been beaten and confused more than anyone all day long, who really bring it all home. They perfectly sum up this happy, symmetrical ending. After a whole lifetime apart, they're finally together, side by side. So in the end, a story that starts with a death sentence finishes with a family reborn. And it's all thanks to a wild series of unbelievable mistakes. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of our lives are just governed by pure, chaotic, and sometimes absolutely wonderful chance?